this is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. Welcome to the Bethlehem Baptist Church, a Christ-centered multicultural church where we embrace inclusion and diversity, and our mission is to love God and serve people. We're delighted you've joined us for this fireside chat, and we're blessed this evening to have Terry Nelson. When I first met her, I knew that God was using her in a mighty way. So I want you to get ready to hear this wonderful conversation from this gifted woman of God. But before we begin, let's have a word of prayer. Gracious and glorious God, we thank you for all of your blessings, and we especially thank you now, oh God, for the opportunity to spend this hour with this conversation with this gifted young woman. We pray, Lord, that this conversation will give you glory, honor, and praise, and your people will be blessed. In the wonderful, mighty name of Jesus Christ do we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I am delighted that you've come this afternoon to tape this fireside chat. I have really been blessed by your commitment. I know that you are employed at the Texas Roadhouse, but I've watched you as you've come to share in our Monday night movement service and the pre-Mother's Day luncheon. So tell me a little about yourself.
Honestly, the pleasure is all mine. Thank you for having me, and thank you for welcoming me into this church. It's just a blessing. I graduated from Kutztown University. I'm 27 years old. I am the oldest of five. My sister recently passed. And yeah, I don't really know.
How long have you been working with Texas Roadhouse?
I've been with them since January.
Okay.
I started serving there, and as I was serving, a few weeks into the role, they offered me the position to do marketing. And it was just such a blessing in disguise because I've always wanted to do marketing. I went to school for that, and I was a little hesitant at first, and then I took it, and it is more than I've ever imagined it to be.
That's great. So you have been drawn to, spend time here worshiping or involved. Where does that really initiate from? Where does that come from, your own faith journey?
So I grew up in a church. I grew up in a fantastic church in Hatboro. My great-grandma, she's 97 now. She was my Sunday school teacher.
Oh, wow.
And she would take us to church every Sunday. And I mean, she prays every morning, she prays every night, and she taught me that faith is very important to have, and it's very important to be involved and to kind of walk by faith and not by sight. And I was a Sunday school teacher when I was in high school.
Oh, wow.
That was very fun. And yeah.
So how do you see your role in terms of your position at Texas Roadhouse and your own faith journey?
It's very cool how the two intertwine. It's very unique. Just staying true and being honest, and believing that you're here to do great work. And I mean, if he didn't want me to do this, he wouldn't have me doing this, and I'm so lucky.
What have your experiences as the challenges?
A lot of no's. Honestly, it's very hard to just go out and talk to people. I used to do cold call sales, and that was scary. And
what did you do?
I did cold called sales.
Okay.
And that was very scary. And it's funny because now I do marketing and I give bread out to the community, and I just involve myself and I say, hey guys, I'm here if you need anything. And it just, some people love it and some people are like, oh, thanks. But
how do you handle no's?
It's a lesson. It's a lesson, and if it's a no, I kind of like to ask why and what I can do better next time to incorporate into kind of making them understand that we're here for the community, and to make people understand that we're here for them. So
when you talk about your journey, where do you think God is leading you at this point in your life?
I'm not too sure. Just in the right path, I hope.
So you tell me more about your family. sister just passed recently?
Yeah. So my sister passed in December. She was 12 years old. She was beautiful. I am the oldest. We were the only two girls, and then I have three amazing brothers. My mom is an amazing woman. She owns her own CPR company,
Okay.
and I've learned kind of to always just be on the go and be around your family, and we all worship as well. So
So what's the name of your church in Horsham?
it's in Hatboro. It's
Hatboro.
Hatboro Community Methodist.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you still involved and active?
So I'm still involved. I'm not as active as I used to be. I was moving around a little bit, and I moved back home a few years ago. So they were gracious enough to hold my sister's ceremony.
Okay.
But I mean, my pastor that I grew up with is amazing as well. And I mean, he's always, if I need anything, I can call him.
Was your sister sick?
So she was special needs. She had something called trisomy 4P, but unfortunately what took her was pneumonia,
Okay.
and it was just a little too late.
So tell me about your major at Kutztown.
I majored in communication studies, and then I had two minors actually. I minored in public relations and digital media and new media studies.
How did you find out about the job at Texas Roadhouse?
I started serving.
Oh, okay.
I did not know about the position, and I've been in the restaurant business for over 10 years. And I was talking to my hiring manager, and I said I would love to move up in the company, and she informed me about this position, and I thought it kind of sounded too good to be true. And then later on I was considered a candidate for it, and it's just been amazing ever since.
So tell me, ask you these questions. We're a predominantly African-American church, but I've been led by God to push the envelope to be a multicultural church where people of all walks of life would come. I just believe the church ought to be a place where it doesn't matter your ethnicity, your social background, or your political persuasion. It ought to be a place where you feel welcome and comfortable and able to serve. So how has your experience been just attending whether the Movement Monday service or you were also at the pre-Mother's Day breakfast? Tell me in honesty how you have felt. Have you felt warm and welcome? And even if you were not a member of your current church, would this be a place that you would feel comfortable with?
Yeah. So my goal is to get here on Sundays. I've just been very, very crazy with the new position. Honestly, nothing but welcoming arms with everybody. I mean, between Miss Brenda, Miss Nicole, you, your wife, this family is so welcoming. And I love coming on Movement Mondays. I missed it a few times, and I beat myself up over it, but I was at work late, and I mean, every time I can get here, I'm happy that I know after work, it's only a few minute drive, and I'm here, and I feel like I'm at like a second home.
I think it's so important that we hear from persons who may not be the same ethnicity, how do they feel? Because we still have an Afrocentric worship experience, and we want everybody to feel comfortable. And it's really amazing because I've been here 36 years. When I first came, we didn't have women in ministry and a lot of things. We have home in Kenya. We've been working with St. Andrew's Evangelical Lutheran Church, which is a predominantly Caucasian church in Percy, and developing relationships. This was a synagogue prior to our moving here, and so we have a wonderful relationship with Beth Orr and Rabbi Marks. In fact, this burning bush is a gift that they gave to us when we moved in. We've been in April this year, we've been here 16 years. So it's been wonderful, and but also the challenge in terms of trying to push the church to be more multicultural. And again, the last Sunday for the first time we had somebody doing sign language, because being diverse is not just in terms of race. A lot of reasons around why we do that. For children who have special needs, as your sister did, and those kind of things. And what do you think we could do to improve in terms of our overall reaching out to the community? In fact, I really like the idea of, because we're really working now, one of the reasons why I was really interested is because we talk about partnerships. So we have a partnership with Pearl Buck. We have a partnership with Ambler Y. we're trying to establish partnerships, and so I like the idea that I think it was your initiative in terms of being able to support an effort, and we were able to give $3,000 to that family who lost her 3 children and her husband, and they're from Puerto Rico, and she was still in the hospital, but the mere fact that you extended the opportunity for us to come, and my wife and I, my son were there on Sunday and had dinner, and it's really interesting because there's a restaurant that's right almost adjacent behind them, which is Pumpernicks. Yeah, and I call it date night on Friday. So I go to Pumpernicks all the time. And in fact, we even advertise at Pumpernicks. But this is a rich community and all across racial lines. And just looking at how we can develop even a deeper partnership with Texas Roadhouse.
I mean, we have so many opportunities to partner together. We can do fundraisers when we have summer camps coming up. If you ever need anything, achievement awards for kids. I mean, we are just as community-based as you are, and our biggest thing is just to let people know that we're here. I mean, you are so welcoming, and I actually didn't know about the church until I drove past it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and I drove past it and I said, oh, I have some bread, and there's some cars in here, so let me go.
Right.
And that's what initiated me coming in, and I mean, that first, I think right after that, that next Monday was Movement Monday, and I was blessed enough to come, and I mean, really just getting out to the community and doing that. I mean, we can do fundraisers together, and there's so much more. Like, thank you for having me at the Mother's Day event, and I would love to come out and do more stuff like that, and we can partner together.
Did you hear any of the speaker?
I did.
Yeah.
He was amazing.
She was amazing. In fact, she has just been voted on to being an interim pastor in this historic church in Newark, Delaware. So, and she started out as a deaconess, went back to school, and now, and she just retired, and we're also working to get her to do children who are special needs children. So we have, real concern around special needs children. In other words, would like also perhaps we do a pantry on Wednesday, and we have clothes that are given. So any way by which we could acknowledge that in the restaurant, because in our community, even though this is suburbs, there's still people who are in need.
Yeah.
And there's no cost. It's had nothing to do with membership. It's just anybody who needs food can come on Wednesdays and pick it up. Anybody need clothing, they can come, and that's what we are. We say we love God and serve people. That's what we want to do. So whatever you can do in that regard is something. Now, tell me, is Texas Roadhouse, is that a franchise or is that individually owned? Or?
So we have managing partners that run each individual store, just like each store has their own store marketer, which is what I do. We are all under a branch, and it kind of varies, but we do have rules that we have to follow, and there's definitely really cool things that we all have in common, and really cool things that we all do individually. I mean, and right now we're doing Make-A-Wish.
Okay. Make-A-Wish.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's up until May 15th. My sister personally got one, so I was really proud. We've really been trying to raise awareness and more, and I know when people donate, I always go to the table and I thank them, and I let them know. I say, this happened, my sister got one, my whole family got to go to Florida, and it's real, and
oh, that's great.
Yeah, and letting people know that it happens and people can get a wish in their backyard.
Went to Florida. Did you go with her?
Yeah, yep,
Oh,
we all got to go. So
when was that?
That was, I want to say, back in 2013.
Oh, okay.
So it was a little bit ago, but I mean, it was a great time, and she's funny. And Make-A-Wish actually has this very unique village, and the village is just so beautiful and individual, like houses and cottages and themes, and we were all just lucky to go. So it was really cool.
So if I were to ask you, what is your ultimate desire in terms of your own, I guess, career?
That is a great question. I love the path I'm on right now, being very community-based and staying out in the marketing. I would love to kind of just make more community connections, and I would love to work hand in hand with the church and just keep on continuing and going a little bit stronger. Having more, we do kids nights, and
Oh, okay.
yeah, we do kids nights on Tuesdays. It's very big. The last Tuesday of every month, we do a big event for the kids.
Okay.
Just kind of getting out some awareness for each month. We do something different, so it's very, very cool, and just kind of build up stronger in my position and see what else there is to go. Yeah.
That's great. So also tell me in terms of when you talk about your career and you talk about your sister Make-A-Wish, are you involved in any other kinds of charitable groups yourself?
So I help out when needed. I'm still learning different opportunities that there are with food pantries. I will go and help out there.
Okay.
It's not all the time, but I would like to do it a lot more. I help out with, I'm drawing a blank now.
Oh, that's okay, yeah.
I help out as much as I can with a lot of things, so I still help out with my church, and I loved coming here. I got to hand out desserts last Monday. That was fun.
Oh, that was really good.
Yeah, that was fun.
So I remember going to the restaurant. They used to have, did they have peanuts on the floor?
They used to have peanuts
right,
on the floor. We unfortunately can't do that anymore,
Right.
but we do still have them.
You still have peanuts?
Yeah,
on
we
the-
still have peanuts. All you
Okay.
have to do is ask your server for
Okay,
it.
because you gave me some peanuts on Saturday.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep. It was funny. Everybody came up to me Saturday, and they're like, "Oh, the peanut lady."
Right. Oh, the peanut lady.
Yeah, I was
okay.
like, "That's me."
Yeah. Well, I guess for particular health reasons, you couldn't put that on the floor anymore. Right? Yeah. But I see you still go around and sing. I guess the crew goes around when it's a birthday or something. They
Yeah.
sing. Okay. Yeah. That's your own brand.
Yes.
That's really good. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really good.
Yeah.
What hours do you work?
So I work. My hours kind of vary. I kind of work all the time. I always like to say that I'm always on the clock, even when I'm not. I do events. I'm setting up for car shows coming up.
Okay.
So normally Monday through Friday. However, with the events that are coming up, the YMCA, I also did an event with.
In Lansdale?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. I did an event with them, and then I really just, if I'm needed, I'm there. And Mother's Day, I'll be working.
Oh,
So
you work on Mother's Day?
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. We have some fun things for the kids coming up. Bracelets for them to make their mom, and some
Okay.
coloring pages for them to do and give to their mom. So
you won't be in church on Mother's Day?
no, I won't. I know.
Right. But I think we do have Movement Monday, this Monday. I
Yes.
think. Right.
Yes, you do.
So when I talk about, your journey going back to Kutztown and your sister and your mom, would you say your family is close knitted?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
My family is super. I love my family, and I
Do they
always
come to the restaurant?
they do.
Okay.
Yeah, my mom loves. I always say my mom and my dad are my best friends. So on a Friday night, how young kids my age, sometimes like to go out. I'll text my mom and be like, "Do you want to do a pizza and movie night?"
Okay.
Or like if my dad, we'll go out and we'll go. My dad has a boat that we like to go hang out on,
okay.
and I mean, I love my parents. I love my siblings. They're all really funny. My 14-year-old brother, he plays baseball.
Okay.
And I was able to go to one of his games, which is why I had missed one Movement Monday. But, I mean, I just try and stay involved with my family. They're my best friends. They have no option. They're stuck with me.
They have no say.
They
right?
have no say.
So this is where we're going to do,
Yep.
this is where we're going to go.
Yeah.
That's really wonderful. Where do you get your bubbling personality from?
I don't know. My mom, my dad, my grandmom, the Lord.
So when you talk about, Mother's Day, what does that mean to you?
Oh, it's so important. My mom is such a strong woman, and so is my grandmom and my great-grandmom, who is my mom's next-door neighbor to this day.
Oh, okay.
She's not 97, and just women empowerment and watching these women raise herds and coming over obstacles that they never knew that they had to overcome. I mean, it's amazing.
Are you the first person in your family to go to college?
I am. Well, in my intermediate family, I am. Yeah.
I'm sure everybody's proud of you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really good. Do you see any of your classmates from Kutztown?
Yeah. Yeah, I do. I actually, I was just one of my very good friends from Kutztown got married a few
Okay.
months ago. So that was very fun. And then a few of them I still get to go out there in Jersey and go from there. So.
Have you been able to make any contact with other congregations?
So I have not. It's fun to get involved with everybody, every congregation. I just have not done that yet. My main focus right now is schools, and I also am working with apartment complexes, so it was just awesome that
There is an event just happened, I'm not sure if you're aware of it, International Spring Festival. Yeah, it was in Lansdale. They have probably about 7,000 people and bring people together from all walks of life. It's a large international festival. And we're part of the Wissahickon faith community, which is also comprised of different faiths, so synagogue, Catholic Church, Methodist Church. So we're still part of that as well. This church has a rich history. We are over 136 years. As I mentioned, we've been here in this particular building for 16 years last month. And I'm the 8th pastor. So they had a number of pastors prior to that. We have a home in Kenya. Are you familiar with the, what was before it was Interfaith Housing Alliance, now it's called Family Promise, and we house homeless families here as well. So it's a group, but I'd love for you to meet the Wissahickon Faith Community. Next meeting, I'll call you and see if you're able to come, because again, you're talking about it's going to help you in terms of developing relationships and partnerships within our community. So there's the Catholic Church, there's a synagogue, there's a mosque not too far from where you are, and you've already been to the Lansdale Y, so that's a beautiful facility, in fact.
Yeah.
Isn't there a senior place right there?
Right next to
Yeah,
it,
next to it,
yeah. And they just opened the golf simulator in the
Right,
front.
right.
It's amazing.
Right.
Yeah, I would be honored.
Right. Have you heard of Dr. Frank Boston? Probably not. He was an African American who formed the Jefferson Lansdale Hospital, and they just named the hospital lobby after him. That was just on Monday. So, there's a lot of things in terms of community involvement that you can get there. Is there any space in the restaurant where they have a billboard or a bulletin board where they post community events there?
So that is something that I, in our corral, we're going to have spaces. I actually am going to make a bulletin board for community events.
Okay.
Yep, I'm going to have community events and then fundraisers, and I have to figure out how to, I'm not that artistic, so I have to figure out how to.
You have a lot of ideas. What are some of the other ideas you have?
Oh, I would really like to, I guess, are we talking about like in the store?
Yeah, in the store, in the
So
community.
in the store, I mean, and the community, like I mentioned on Tuesdays, our kids' nights. I know sometimes parents are like, oh, I don't feel like cooking, or I don't feel like doing that. Like I said, I was the oldest of 5. So I would like to be that kind of getaway for the kids and be like, oh, let's go to Texas Roadhouse, and I know Taylor's going to be there on Tuesday night, and I can't wait to see her, and she's going to have some crafts for us to do. That's a really big goal of mine. And then just kind of getting out. We do Wild West Wednesdays.
What do you do on Wednesdays?
$2, so it's Wild Wild West Wednesday.
Okay.
$2 off our 8-ounce and 11-ounce sirloin. And then we do Thank You Thursdays. It's 20% off for military and all active. And we really like to just give back to the community, and we like to know, not a lot of people know where we are even.
Sure.
So.
What are your hours?
We are open Monday through Friday from 4 to 10. And then on holidays, if it falls on a weekday, we will open early. It is subject to change on that depending on the holiday. And then on weekends, we're open from 12 to 11.
Oh, so you're not open in the morning, just
Right, but we can always do catering if someone's ever interested. If anybody would like to come into the restaurant and host an event in Texas Roadhouse, we can also do that. I mean, there's so many opportunities that I'm still learning about that we can do as well. So,
have you seen people start coming back, going out to eat after all this we've been through the last 2.5 years?
I have. So I've been a server. I was a server at another restaurant when it was slowing down, and then when I went to Texas Roadhouse, I mean, it was very, very busy. It was nonstop, and it's nice because I'm seeing a lot of the same faces come out, and new faces that I've gone out and met, and they've told me they've never been there. So when I see them, I just think it's amazing that people are venturing out and excited to go out again and feel safe doing it. So.
Yeah. But most of your working is obviously in the evenings or afternoons?
So I normally leave the building at 11:30, and I go out to the community. I'll go out to businesses, schools, churches, and really just talk to people. And it's always funny because I totally sound like a salesperson when I come up. I'm like, hey, how we doing?
Right.
And nobody wants to hear a sales pitch. So I always tell people I'm not selling anything.
Right.
I have fresh bread that I made for you guys. And when they hear that, they're like, made bread? I'm like, yeah, like I made this bread for you guys and I'm so excited. Like, please let me know how it is. Let me know if you need anything.
That's your specialty, the bread.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. And some people have never had it.
Right.
So when people have never had it, I'm like, oh, let me know how. I went to the jewelry place off of 202 and it was so amazing. This woman was at the front and she's like, oh, I've never had it, and just opens it and dips in the butter and she goes, it's so amazing. Right. And I said, I made it with love.
So you made it with love?
Yes, okay. Yes. So.
Is the bread made on the premise?
Yes, everything's made. Everything is made fresh. Everything is hand cut. I mean, even we have somebody named Cello. He comes in every morning and he cuts our steaks. So every steak that you see in the case, every steak that you get on a plate, that you see on a plate, we cut that in-house. I mean, everything is very legendary, which is what we like to always make sure that people know.
Wow. So is there time by which you have had your parents there, just kind of like, hey, Mom and Dad, come on over and...
So it's funny, my parents love to come when we're super busy. Okay. And my mom will be like, oh, like, how's today? And I'm like, oh, it's super crazy today. She's like, oh, I just called in, I'll be there in 5. So they come all the time. And I mean, we've been open.
So they don't take reservations though, right?
No, but we do call ahead seating.
Okay.
So if you call an hour before you're interested in coming, we can give you a proper guesstimate on your wait time. Okay. And when you check in, when you get there, it kind of gets you the ball rolling on seating. So you don't normally wait as long.
So I think when we called, it said you have to wait outside or in your car. Is that?
So we ask that you wait outside in your car, and then we give you a text to come in. And when it's that's when you would wait in the lobby, and you would get to pick your steak. You would see our bread, our amazing host at the front with smiles.
So normally, what's the waiting time when you're in the car? 10, 15 minutes?
It depends on the day that you go. Mother's Day is going to be very busy. The wait time could vary from nothing to 15 to 30. It all depends. We don't like to push people out, so as soon as tables open up, that's when we can get it cleaned and sit another table and have everybody enjoy a meal. So
in this particular job, you get an opportunity to create new opportunities. Is that basically, so you're creating newness now, is that?
So I'm very lucky. I came into, everybody knows, most people know what a Texas Roadhouse is. And I always get excited when people don't, because then I kind of get to tell them our legendary story and tell them things about us. And sometimes, like I went to Staples and I was printing something and I had extra bread, so I dropped off some bread for the employees. And one of them never had it. And he was like, oh, I've never had it. The guy that was at the support, he goes, they have off-the-bone ribs, they have fresh bread. I didn't even have to tell our story. It was amazing because, I mean, you come in and you hear our story and you see our story, and it's just, it sticks with people. And I'm really lucky.
Do they have like a membership or club dining, so if you eat so many times, did you have anything?
We don't have that. We do have, so I have people who come in all the time that are just amazing, and I know them by name, and I've been kind of getting stuff for them. So first-time guests, I always like to give them something, and people that I see all the time. So if I order something, I'll order like koozies, or I'll give them something for the next time they come in. Not all the time, but sometimes. If I know it's their birthday, just let everybody, I care about everybody that comes in there, and it's really cool to make the connections, because some people don't remember that I remember them until I start to talk to them.
So now you have to remember.
Yes.
Let me ask you another question, because I think this is important as well. Just given where we are with so many people who are not willing to work or for whatever reason, are there opportunities for employment at the restaurant? And is there any summer opportunities for students?
Yeah, so we 100% have opportunities. There's serving, busing, if you don't want to do either, if you want to cook. I mean, the opportunities are endless. I started off as a server, and now I do marketing for this store. I mean, we are always open and would love for people to apply and for people to come out and give us a chance. I'm going to say I have been in the restaurant business for over 10 years, and this is one of the best places I've ever worked. And my coworkers, my bosses, my market bosses, just everybody is so amazing and so kind. And it's not always like that in the restaurant business. And it's just very nice to be involved in a corporation that cares. And we really do. And it made it easier for me to do my job and me to love it. So it's awesome.
Well, it's interesting. I would hope again that people would feel the same way about the church. You know, I've been a member for Bethlehem 4 years, 10 years, or whatever, and this is one of the best things that happened to me. You know, I think that's important.
Yeah.
So the mere fact that you've been in the restaurant business, you think you mentioned you started in January?
Yeah.
But that you've been able to be advanced and feel good about where you're working. I think that is, to me, that's incredible. You know, you feel good about opportunities for growth and advancement and opportunity to use your gifts as well in terms of creating new opportunities for community. I think that's, and those are things we're trying to do at the church. So there's this kind of, you know, what can we do to reach out beyond these walls?
Yeah.
How can we develop a deeper partnership with our community? And so we looking at the why, as I mentioned before, in terms of partnership. But I think it's important that you're not just there for the dollar, but you're there to invest in the community. Mm-hmm. And that's really, really good, you know. So you're to be commended for your enthusiasm. You have a lot of enthusiasm. You could tell. I see you got your shirt on. You know, is there orientation in terms of what one's expected to do when they get there for employment? Is this kind of like a pep talk? We want you to be.
So it's always funny. We train very well. Mm-hmm. So servers, they. I always think it's funny. I actually served at a Texas Roadhouse in Trexlertown years ago when I was in college. And I left. I was there for a semester. That one filled up a lot with employees. Mm-hmm. So it was kind of first come, first serve mm-hmm. employment. And when I applied back here, it was really cool because we still have a lot of the same stuff. I mean, mm-hmm. if it's not broke, don't fix it. Right. And the things that were broke were fixed, and there wasn't really anything broke. Right. But we are very upfront with expectations. We are very honest. And I mean, our Amanda, one of my favorite managers, she trains the front of house, and Becca as well. I mean, their personalities are amazing, and they let people know the expectations. I mean, I always kind of, when I see people, I let them know, hey guys, like, I used to serve, I do marketing for the store now, like, what you're learning is really important, especially when I go out and I do my job, because you guys are helping me do my job. And your job is just as important as mine. Just because you're a server, you're not just a server. You're a server for Texas Roadhouse, and you're doing great things. And I mean, the servers help me with fundraisers, and we do a lot of great things together. We do a lot of team building. I mean, we like to keep things fun as well, and we are always there for each other too, so it's very nice.
When you talk about your experience in a short span of time, you are unique in terms of moving from a server to that position. Is that opportunity for others to move up in the corporation? Yeah,
there is so much. I did not realize how much growth there was until I got offered this position. Mm-hmm. And I tell people all the time, if you don't want to be stagnant, you won't have to be. If you have aspirations to do something, talk to management. Mm-hmm. That's what I did. I said, I don't want to stay a server forever. I would like to do something more. And I mean, with the hard work and the dedication and showing that you care. And it really does make a difference. I mean, there's so much room for growth, and even now there's so much movement going on that is just awesome. And there's always a new position, or there's always something new that you can learn, and you won't stay in one place if you don't want to.
Well, you have a lot of passion and excitement, and it's contagious.
Thank you.
And I really appreciate just a short time I've had the opportunity to meet you, that you have a heart of service, not just the restaurant, but with God's people. What have you received from helping others?
Smiles. I don't ever look for something in return. I mean, I've gotten great friendships. I've gotten another home. I would consider this another home, and Miss Nicole and Miss Brenda. I mean, just people that care, and I think that it's just amazing. When I go out and I look and I meet people and I do things, I never do things because I think I'm gonna get something out of it. I kind of just do things because I would want things done for me, and I think that the one thing I can say is what I have gotten back is motivation on days that I've kind of been down. Nicole has ironically texted me and, hey, how are you? I hope everything's okay, without even knowing. And just even coming in on Movement Mondays and people being like, oh, hey, how are you? And being the Mother's Day, it was funny talking to people of, oh, the Peanut Lady. And the woman I was next to, she was like, oh, you go to Movement Monday? And I said, yeah. She's like, and we just made such a great bond. And I think that meeting so many amazing people has kind of made me more of a better person. And that's the only thing I can ask to do, is be better than I was yesterday. So that's what it's gotten me.
Well, you seem as though you're on the right path.
Thank you.
Moving in that direction, and it's amazing because nothing happens by accident. You are where God wants you to be, and that's really, really great, I am just delighted that you feel comfortable here in this place called Bethlehem, the House of Bread. I really am, and look forward to you worshiping us when you get a chance, obviously. And your pastor has to be also proud. You said that he was there for you when you were a little girl, and that's really great, yeah. So are the rest of your family, are they involved with their faith community as much as you are?
So my grandmom is.
Right.
My mom, she's getting back to it. My brothers aren't as involved, but the thing is, I think the way that my grandmom raised us is that even though sometimes we don't get to make it to church, we are still following what is taught and what is supposed to be. So I would like to say yes, we all are. It might not be the exact way, but definitely.
Now, does your church do live stream?
They do. Okay. Yeah. Yep. They do. My grandma, my great grandma, she watches it.
So how do you feel about live stream?
Oh, I think it's great. I think that, I mean, especially now with the times of everything changing, there's so much to be involved in, and if something's like needs to be said, or if somebody can't be somewhere in the moment but they want to be, I mean, you're not alone, and I feel like live streaming kind of helps you feel there, and that's very important.
So what about your social life? I mean, do you go to gym? What do you do in that regard?
So I go to a gym. I go to a really cool gym, and I met some amazing people that have become huge influences in my life. And I hang out with my best friend, and I have 2 cats now.
Oh, okay.
So I read, I try and go to the gym as much as I can. I kind of fell off a little bit, and I'm getting back onto it all. I mean, it's getting nicer out, so I like to be outside. And honestly, just I'll call my brother up, or I'll call my aunts up, and I'll be like, hey guys, you want to go out to eat, or you want to do something? Like, I always try.
Well, now the restaurant, they don't have an outside eating area.
No, we don't. We would like one, but maybe one day. Who knows?
I'm just looking at locale and locations.
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
It'd be cool, but I don't know. And our location is also a little, like, it's funny because nobody sees us
Right.
when they're driving past.
That is, yeah.
Yeah, so everyone's like, "Where are you?" And
Yeah.
I always tell them, "Oh, you know where the
Yeah,
Costco's is?"
yeah.
They're like, "Yeah." I'm like, "We're right
Yeah.
there."
That's a very good point.
Yeah.
So, in terms of location, how do you advertise? Word of mouth. So you're the advertiser.
Yep. So we like to we like to send out emails with things that we have going on, but we don't overwhelm anybody. Nobody wants that. We have a Facebook page that we're going to start to get more active with, and just me going
So
out
is your
to the
Facebook
community.
page, is it active now, or are you going to just renew that?
It's active,
Okay.
but I would like to make it more. That's where I
So
come in.
how much, do you have a lot of free reign in terms of different programs and things, or are you kind of
So
boxed in?
I'm still very new in my position, so I always like to ask first and go from there. I mean, but to be honest, there's so many opportunities, and the ones, like I said earlier, I'm still learning all of them. So definitely not boxed in.
I know one of the questions that was posed even by your manager, what questions we're going to ask you.
Yeah.
Because, obviously we never want to put you in an uncomfortable position or put your company in an uncomfortable position. So really this conversation is about appreciating what you've already done, appreciating your willingness to be part of Bethlehem in terms of its overall community output. So in that regard, learning more about yourself, never want to embarrass anybody or put anybody in an uncomfortable position for these interviews. I mean, that's not what we do. But again, I think it's so important, particularly for young persons, that they follow their desires, that God will bless them. So you finish college and start on a job as a server, and for long now you are doing a major job with the corporation. And so, that's not the end of your career. It's going to still bubble and move forward. So I think in that sense, how you do that, your own passion for what you do, that's obviously something that we've already felt. And I think to some degree you probably have your own independence in terms of choosing where you want to spend your time, as opposed to you got to do X, Y, Z. Would you say that as well?
Yeah, definitely. I think that we like to be anywhere that we can.
Right.
And I think that it's nice because if I don't know, I can always reach out to another store marketer and ask questions. And I mean, it's all still so new, but so evolving.
So are you the only person at the restaurant who has this particular job?
I am. So I am the only one in Texas Roadhouse, Montgomeryville, that does. So my position is called the LSM for short, and it's the local store marketer or legendary store marketer.
So are you able to contact or have interaction with others in other places?
Yeah, so
Okay.
I actually on Monday, I met everybody in my market, all the stores, and I mean, we all got to talk, and I mean, somebody has been there for 15 years. And hearing that, I said, "How long have you been here?" And she said, 15 years, and I got the biggest smile on my face, because I just thought that is so cool. I already love this position so much, and knowing that it's such a constant position that you can stay and you can create and do stuff, and we all get to bounce ideas back. I mean, we're all not strangers. We definitely, even before we didn't meet, we always motivate each other, and I mean, if we're ever stuck or need an idea, I mean, everybody's there for each other.
So let me ask you another question, because this is not about a one-way conversation. Do you have any questions you want to ask me?
Yeah, how did you get started in the church?
Well, in fact, as it turns out, prior to you leaving, I'm going to give you a book. It's not where you start, where you finish. It counts. It's a book I wrote, and really just kind of put together my path here, my path in life. And I wrote it not so much about myself, but what God is able to do. I think in every phase of our lives, we have challenges and setbacks. And someone said the other day that there could be no success without some failures. And so I think you appreciate more when you've had a few failures along the way. But I love what I'm doing, and I obviously take it that you enjoy what you're doing. I think no matter what we do, there has to be a sense of pride and a sense of joy in doing it. If not, no amount of money can repay that. So obviously you are committed to what you're doing and enjoy it, and it's fulfilling as opposed to I'm doing something and I don't really enjoy this. I'm just trying to make a paycheck, those kind of things. But I really enjoy what I'm doing. I'm committed to community, and I've been privileged to serve on a number of boards. I'm on the Jefferson Board, the hospital, and Montgomery County, which is responsible for all the public housing in Montgomery County. I'm part of Interfaith Housing Alliance and Family Promise. I'm a member of the Bluebell Rotary, and that's a wonderful group, and love for you to come and speak to them one morning. We meet every Tuesday at 7:30. I'm sorry, 7:15 at Normandy Farms. Are you familiar with Normandy Farms?
Yeah, I had a friend get married there.
Yeah, it's a great group, and be another way for you to network. I mean, I really mean necessarily. It's we do a lot. In fact, we have a Chef of the Burbs, which is a major fundraiser on the 18th of this month. But if you get a chance, put that on your list of things to do, and maybe at one point you can be one of the speakers. They have different speakers come in every week. The last Tuesday of the month, we normally have a social. But it's a great group to give back to the community. And in fact, it's really interesting. Chef of the Burbs also, and that's something that your restaurant could do. They have people who come and have a station. And so the restaurant would set up, they would have tables, the restaurant would have little snacks and things of that nature, and they go around the room and you taste those. So it's a great opportunity for you.
Yeah.
It really is. It's something in terms of your networking. We have a number of restaurants who will be there this year, but something you can consider maybe next year in terms of getting committed to that, because you're expanding yourself in terms of community.
Yeah.
And they have a number of restaurants, and it's a great evening. And then it talks about giving back. They have a raffle and things of that nature. So it's really great. But how you get out to the community, and you already made a point that just based upon the location, even though I can't even remember how long the Texas Roadhouse has been there. How long have they been on
2006,
that?
June 2006.
2006. It's interesting, because we came here in 2006.
Yeah.
So it's about 16 years.
Yeah.
June and 6. We came in April 2006.
That's
so we almost the same location.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, whatever I can do in terms of developing community networks, I think is so important.
Yeah.
So it's another way for you to put that on your radar screen and say, okay, Chef of the Burbs is a place where we can put the Texas Roadhouse and have cards and things there and give back to the community. So,
Yeah. That's awesome.
So, any other major events you have planned for?
So, in August, there is going to be a Montgomeryville night out.
Okay.
It's on a Tuesday. I actually just got the email for it yesterday. So that's a huge event that I'm very excited for. And then I have 2 car shows that are coming up but haven't been confirmed. So I will definitely be doing those.
Okay.
I'm still
So
kind
do you
of
have to develop all the leads, or are leads brought to you?
A little bit of both. When people are interested in raffle baskets that we donate, I always tell them, hey, like if you're doing a raffle basket, if you ever need fundraising, and people don't know that we do that. We do 4 different types of fundraisings, and there's just so many opportunities to help, and that's what we're there to do. So it's pretty great.
So as the hour winds down, what would you want to leave the congregation watching? What would you want to leave them with?
I would love to leave with a huge thank you, and I really appreciate the welcomeness and the warmth, and if anybody ever needs anything as a marketer or as just myself, I'm always here, I'm always available. If anybody's ever interested in fundraising, partnerships, if there's anything that's ever needed, to not hesitate and call me.
Well, again, I want to thank you so much, and I appreciate your passion for what you're doing. We do want to develop a community relationship, because I think it's so essential. We cannot do ministry here in this building by itself. So I look forward to an ongoing relationship. I look forward to those nice rolls. And feel free to worship with us at any time, or if there's an event you would like for us to participate in, just give us a call. Minister Nicole Proctor as well. She is our minister for our youth, and we're also developing, hopefully, a partnership with the Lansdale Y. So we're on the same page in that regard. But I do want to thank you so much. What we've tried to do in these fireside chats is bring to the community some of the most enriched people in our community, every phase and facet of life, whether it's a nice evening out at the restaurant, whether or not it's a community event, whether or not it's our commitment to support our police department, our government officials, our spiritual leaders. That's what we seek to do. When we say we love God and serve people, that's who we are. And so I want to thank you once again for your ongoing work that you do. My prayers are with you and your family. And keep on doing what you're doing. And God will take you to the next step, whatever that next step may be. And know that you're making a difference in our community already from January to now where you are, and your openness and your willingness to be part of Bethlehem and be part of the larger community. And I'm sure that Texas Roadhouse has received a jewel in you. And we want for you to have the best in your family as well. So thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Before we leave, we just want to have a word of prayer. And if you want a nice evening out, go to Texas Roadhouse. They have some nice steaks. As soon as you walk in, look in the case, pick out a nice steak, and charge it to Joe Wingen, who does our TV broadcast. Just say that I'm here on behalf of Joe Wingen, Tamaran, and then he'll pick up the check. Oh, that's another story. I believe also we have to laugh a little bit, and Joe has been such a wonderful blessing to us. 31 years here, and he's never lost a beat. And we could not do this without our media, and so I just thank him and all those who are working, Gus and others. We are working diligently to make sure that we provide the whole gospel, the whole person in every aspect of life through the fireside chat, through our worship experiences on Sunday morning at 9 a.m. and 11:15 a.m., Sunday evening with the pastor. Our pantry is open every Wednesday, and now we've started with clothes for care. We have some nice clothing. The pantry is open to anyone. Anyone can come in. We have children in Kenya. So many things we're seeking to do, and we're just starting. We're going to continue to find ways, as this young lady has found ways to embrace and to enlarge what she's doing. We're doing the same thing. So let us have a word of prayer. Gracious God, we thank you for this time together. We thank you for this gifted young woman. We pray, Lord, thy blessings upon her as she uses her gifts every day to make a difference in the lives of people, as well as her own professional career. We ask, oh God, that this might be the beginning of a new and meaningful relationship. So all these blessings and many more we carry in our hearts. In the wonderful name of our God do we pray.